Hello, good morning. I hope you're well and enjoying this day and the new opportunities that God gives us. I would like to point out that we, cattlemen and cattlewomen, those who manage the land and livestock, are called to be good stewards of the land. But what does it mean that we are called to be good stewards? Stewardship refers to managing all the different parts of something. In this case, a livestock business that consists of land, livestock, people, pastures, soil microorganisms, trees, wildlife, insects, and our family. We want all of this to improve, not just the land or the pastures, not just our profitability. We want everything to improve and to be able to leave to our descendants something better than what we received, our legacy. I am sure you have seen many examples of stewardship. People who buy or inherit a farm or ranch and improve it in such a way that it is now an example of how things should be done. A profitable farm or ranch in harmony with the environment, with adapted livestock, very good genetics, calving at the right time, with very high productivity, and without depending on external inputs. Surely, those properties will have trees in their pastures. And you have also surely seen some bad examples where the soil and pastures have been degraded due to poor management. Perhaps this was due to overgrazing, and overgrazing is what happens when livestock are allowed to consume grass before it has adequately recovered, and is what causes your best grass species to disappear from the pasture, your most desirable grass species. And then long-lived organic carbon in your soil begins to be lost and productivity declines to the bare minimum. That example is one. Another would be where the land has been routinely plowed and chemicals such as fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, or fungicides are used in excess as well. They kill soil life and drastically reduces its natural functions. We know that in nature, soil and grasses and trees form a symbiosis where the grasses, properly pruned by livestock, create fertile soil. We know that the best soils in the world were created by large herds of herbivores grazing forest species, and because grasses store energy in grounds and roots below the ground, they created deep, fertile soil, while forests store energy in their wood, which can be burnt or be cut and carried away. That is why forests do not create the best soils in the world, only grasslands. Interesting. Well, I must also say to the pride of us, ranchers and farmers, that grass produces more oxygen per square yard of land than trees. Yes, with only 4 by 4 yards of green grass, enough oxygen is produced for one person. So we know that with properly managed pastures and livestock, we can improve the environment for everyone. This latest data should make you feel great and optimistic. Now, we know that the profitability of a farm is important to be able to have what is necessary for our family and to continue regenerating the land. Did you know that the number of livestock in good body condition that you can maintain on your farm at a low cost determines your profitability? Yes, the more pounds of calves and beef you can sell per year at a low cost or pounds of milk, the greater your profit will be. Profit is what you keep in your pocket at the end of each year. But some may say, isn't winning weight as important? Isn't the price paid per pound of calf just as important? In reality, those do not match a high stocking rate in terms of importance in determining the profitability of your farm or ranch. And just as a high stocking rate is decisive for the profitability of your farm, real life fertility determines the profit that each cow gives you per year. Here or now, we are defining what you should focus on to regenerate your land and to be a good steward of your land in all of its parts. Of course, there are other parts that will influence your success, but the most important are these: a larger number of cattle in good body condition maintained at a low cost, and cows with high real life fertility. I teach all this at the Total Grazing Academy because it is not just one or two things that we must consider, but rather we must consider the whole in its parts that influences how nature selects and manages to achieve the highest productivity per acre. You see, when we do not contradict nature, we begin to simplify our lives and we also start to harvest in abundance the results of our efforts. And I know a little about this because my first years of cattle ranching or farming, I was contradicted nature. It took me many years, more than 20, to learn that genetics selection is so important to improve your land. I didn't know that, and I lost 20 some years of my life because of that. I don't want that happen to you. That's why I have talked about where we should focus our efforts to achieve success. Many times we dilute our efforts and our investment in money on things that are not going to give us success faster. Many of those things are going to prevent us from achieving greater profitability and land improvement. Things like selective grazing, even if it's rotational or continuous, it doesn't matter. The use of breeds that are unadapted to our environment because they will need much more care, and selective grazing, which degrades your land. Using cattle that are too tall or late sexual maturity, using too much hay or silage, having birds all year round or in the dry or cold season, maintaining many little groups of livestock, using synthetic fertilizer on your pastures, having too many permanent small paddocks with water in each one, buying your bulls from someone else instead of producing them on your farm. This has many implications. Looking at trees as something that should be outside the pastures, out there in a corner, in the forest, when in reality, we need trees inside our pastures for their many advantages. Aim for very high winning weights, which leads to lower real life fertility in your cows. And remember, that's what determines the profits that each cow gives you. Giving energy supplements to your livestock, drip feeding grains to your calves. All of these things distract you from the necessary focus to be an excellent steward of your land. Achieve the largest number of cattle with good body condition at a low cost and have cows with high real life fertility first, and then look at other items. I invite you to watch the video I made, and it's called What I Wish I Knew 30 Years Ago. It's on my YouTube channel under Real World Ranching by Jim Elizondo, and I will put the link in the comments, the first comment. So the name of the video is What I Wish I Knew 30 Years Ago. Then you will see that I also started without knowing many things, and over the years, I learned what is really necessary to be a good steward of my land. Surely you will identify with my experience and what I have learned in these 30 plus years. I also recommend to you to take my online courses, which are four, and they come in the Total Grazing Academy. The first is the Total Grazing program, where you will learn why you should graze this way to improve your land, pastures, and productivity as quickly as possible and at the lowest cost. The second course is Adapted Genetics and Selection Guidelines to create livestock that are more resistant to parasites and diseases and can also maintain good body condition year-round. This will give you the long-awaited real-life fertility in your cows that allows you to increase your stocking rate without setbacks. The third is nutrition, and it is essential to achieve optimal health in your livestock by knowing how the rumen works when grazing. You will be able to greatly reduce your expenses in veterinary medicine and achieve better performance in your livestock. This better performance comes from achieving optimal animal health, and this better performance also gives you better conversion of tons of grass you produce to saleable products from your livestock. And it can be pounds of calf, pounds of beef, or pounds of milk, depending on your enterprise. The fourth online course available is called Optimal Calving Season. A calving season of no more than 45 days in the best time of the year allows you to achieve a larger number of cows with good body condition on your farm and also allows you to reduce your costs by reducing your cow's nutrition requirements in the dry or cold season of the year. It also helps you to increase the real-life fertility of your cows, since real-life fertility depends on body condition of your cows at calving. This is very important. It's the cheapest way to increase your profits. You can increase stocking rate by up to 40%, reduce your costs, and increase real-life fertility. Well, there you have it. It is quite simple. The things you need to do to be good stewards of your land. You only need the will to be one, and it begins by opening your mind to new possibilities and learning. In these four courses that I mentioned, you will have the necessary guidance or coaching by me, Jim Elizondo, because your farm and environment are unique and you must adapt these universal principles to your own farm. I hope you liked this Fat Wallet Ranchers podcast and you signed up to one of our courses. They are available in my website. You can also sign up to receive my free podcast at www.rwranching.com. May God bless you, and I hope to see you soon.